Start it at any time?
Alrighty, let's go ahead and call the meeting to order. Roll call.
Okay, Miles.
Here.
Graham.
Here.
Poodle.
Here.
Espinoza. Here. Wheelie.
Here.
Anderson is absent with notice, and Randall said he would be late if he makes it.
I will look for approval of tonight's agenda.
I would make a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
I'll second that.
Got a motion and a second to approve tonight's agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. I'll look for a motion to approve the minutes of the March 10th, 2026 meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the March 10th meeting.
Second.
I've got a motion and a second to approve the minutes of the March 10th, 2026 meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Perfect.
Oh. It might be a small correction.
Oh.
Because it's the United States 250th birthday, not South Dakota's.
There's a South Dakota committee. Did I put South Dakota America 250?
That's the way I read it, was South Dakota's 250th birthday.
Just, I would, that doesn't change content. I will change it to America's.
There we go.
Official minutes.
Got her?
Geez, that was a big.
That's in there.
Oof.
That's in there twice.
Just do a control find.
And it was, the second part was where you just do a word find, you should be able to find it twice
In the minutes.
Okay, well, I'll have to do work. I always see this one spot, but. Okay, yep.
All right. Got her?
Change it, yep.
All right, perfect. All right. Public comments. Is there any public comments for non-agenda items? Guessing no. So we'll go past that. We've got a few minutes before 7:05, so Kyle, if you got an update?
Code enforcement, since our last meeting, dealing with pet licenses again, rubbish and junk, garbage cans on the street, talking with the haulers, making sure they put them back, get them off the street when they empty the trashes every week. Inoperable vehicles, parking on grass, and then no building permit. Any questions on that?
Do you want to give them an update on Baker since Tony asked for
I
them?
know that Tony mentioned that permit got renewed,
Yeah.
and
so-
he was not pleased about the permit getting renewed.
Well, and I talked with the city's attorney, so his year expired on this permit, so he is not finished with the project. You know, it's going to be a long haul for him. So he
It hasn't
could,
progressed at all since.
I don't think over the winter he did much work in it, just because it doesn't have heat and winter, so. But he did, when he came in to renew the permit, says now that the weather's turning nice again, he plans to, he wanted to renew it, plans to continue work on it, and he plans to be in this fall, is what he's hoping he'll have it completed and done this fall, because I asked him what his timeline was, his partner on it, so. And Joe, we're talking about the house, kitty corner from City Hall here,
Okay.
we would clean up a condemnation. He had several code violations, he had to get it up to code, and so we've been working with him to get it up. I did talk to the city attorney, because Tony didn't want it renewed until we come to the board. We don't have any legal reason not to renew it. It's in our regulations, it can renew, it's an ongoing project.
He did do some.
We lifted the condemnation, he's not under that anymore, any regulations with that. He brought the code violations up, and now it's just a regular building permit, somebody working on their house. And he's not living in it, so I mean, there's no
Is that something that needs
violations
to get looked at as far as deadlines or something again? And I guess I don't, I haven't been
No,
around.
we lifted
but-
the condemnation, so that's done and gone.
Okay.
So, yeah, unless you,
The only thing that you do.
and I don't know that we have any,
Like as far as
Code
extensions,
violations.
how far can you
That would be like a
continue
nice-
to extend it and things like that?
So I'm working with Levi, he's got some inoperable vehicles in his driveway. One of them's got, one car's missing a windshield, and both of them need the tags updated. So he's working on those. Other than that, yeah, it's, as long as he's not occupying the building without Paul and I's approval, there's not much we can do on our end.
Yeah. I mean, he's doing it the legal way. He's not living in it.
It might not be ideal, but it's legal. And-
Right, exactly. I mean, I know we wanted him to get it done as soon as possible, but
Mhm.
I think we all knew though, when as bad a shape as it was, that it was gonna take time to get it, time and financing. And I don't know if financing had anything to do with.
Yeah,
When I asked him about his timeline, he indicated he wasn't working on it through the winter time just because, yeah. there's
Well, it's
no
just one of
heat
those things
anymore.
that the neighbors have to, the neighbors have to deal with it for as long as it takes him, that one person to do it, so.
Right now, it's all just interior work though
Okay.
going on.
Any update on that other house that Tony, and the garage door that fell down on top of the pickup? And
You talked to Paul about that, right?
Yeah, he's,
is that on our list, by chance?
what might be a-
I asked Paul about that house, and he worked on, he got the garage door, and the door's back up.
It's falling down again, no?
He's requesting from the property owner a definitive, because he told him he wants to look at rezoning the property this summer, maybe late spring, to rezone it to that high-density residential, and then potentially build, I think, a twin home on there.
That's what he kind of indicated. to me,
And
but
I kind
I'm not seeing it.
of talked with Paul, I suggested we maybe need to look at a definitive date, not just a season. So he's gonna, I haven't heard back from Paul on that one.
And Paul says he will be back for the main meetings. He had a few family things the last couple of months, but he should be back at the next meeting, so we can
Okay.
kind of follow up with him on that. Because he's the one who's addressing it with the owner of that property, so.
Alrighty. At 7:07, we will go ahead and get into our 7:05 conditional use hearing for 600 North Sagehorn. Exemption request for accessory building material. Teresa?
Okay, so this is for, it's a, property owners are asking for a conditional use hearing for an accessory building at 600 North Sagehorn. Basically, they come in for a building permit to place a 10 by 16 accessory building, that's 160 square feet. Our regulations note that any building over 150 square feet, so this be 10 square feet larger, have to be of like kind of material as the principal building. The property owners noted that the shed, the siding of it would comply, but the roof would be a metal roof. So that is why they're coming in asking for an exemption, or I should say a conditional use permit to allow the metal roofing for that accessory building. When we were going through this meeting, kind of talked a little bit, and of course, our current regulations are 150 square feet, but he noted that the actual building codes, which, we can be stricter than the building codes, allow exemptions are accessory buildings up to 200 square feet before having to be, comply with this. So that might be something we want to look at in the future to kind of make those be the same. But currently, right now, it's at 150 square feet. So in order to proceed with placing the accessory building, they would need a conditional use permit. As far as placing it, where and whatnot, it complies with all the regulations. It is just the material on the roof. I did talk to the property owner. They did, I think, check with where they got it at to see if asphalt shingles could go on. Obviously, that's going to be a higher expense. It's going to need to be changed over, so it comes with the metal roof, though.
So can I just back up and ask just a basic question? Why a conditional use permit? What is the condition and what's the use?
So per our regulations, and I added them in there, basically it has all the regulations for an accessory use building. Under B10, it says that accessory buildings not meeting these requirements shall be allowed only as a conditional use. So that's why it's going through a conditional use permit. It's not a variance, it's a conditional use permit, so it doesn't have to meet those requirements of a variance as far as hardship, or property of a, goofy design or
different
whatnot.
things that
It does, yeah. It's a little bit more lenient than a variance is. A variance is in state law and has to meet those certain requirements we have. Conditional use is really up to the board if you want to allow it or not.
Have you checked out what Google has to say about the difference between a variance and a conditional use permit?
I have not checked Google.
think
I
we're
just
wrong.
go with CCOG and our attorney,
I
not
believe we
Google.
are wrong. I think we should be looking at a variance.
It was
Well-
originally a variance. We changed it. The board changed it about 5 years ago, 6 years ago.
Yeah, on
I
accessory
think so,
buildings.
yeah, on accessory buildings only.
Get into variances on like bigger, you get over an accessory.
Variance is if like
buildings.
setbacks, they want to change
Yeah, you wanna get
setbacks,
closer
height
to
of the
setbacks.
building,
A
whatnot.
variance
This is
looks at
just
the
for
law or
accessory
the rule,
buildings.
And it's a variance from that defined rule. A
Yes.
conditional use permit is a use of land, a condition on the use of land. If you look at the definition here, that's what it is.
And if you look at our variance definition though, it specifically states like setbacks, height of buildings, whatnot, not the materials on a building.
Yeah,
So-
when we get into materials, that's when it gets,
That's when it gets a little.
I know it seems a little gray, right, between a conditional use, because usually on a conditional use, you can add condition.
Yes, so,
So, which,
The conditions for the use. I don't see any use definition here at all.
right.
All I see
right.
is we can't do a shingle, we have to do a metal roof because that's what we bought.
Right.
right.
That,
And it's up to you
in
whether
my
to allow
mind,
it
this is a
given that
variance
conditional use.
request.
Well,
We gotta go by our regulations though,
Yeah.
not what Google has currently.
if our regulations on step 10 said variance, then we'd be having a variance
We
hearing.
have a whole different discussion,
But
yes.
it doesn't,
It doesn't.
so that's what we're going.
We're not having a
Okay, so my
variance
next point
hearing on
then
the
is-
conditional use hearing.
Right.
So my
Right.
next point then is, I think we should change our ordinance.
And that's
like-
something for the
like
board to
Kyle
discuss, because it
suggested.
used to be a variance.
Hey,
The board changed it to allowing them as conditional uses just for accessory buildings.
Well, I'm talking about square footage, we should change.
we thought you were the problem child. You're not the problem child today.
Change it to-
You're always.
So we're at 150 now? I mean, there's really no conditions, well, can't say that, I guess.
Condition you're gonna allow is allow them to have a metal roof
Right.
versus an asphalt roof.
Right.
And Kyle's one suggested raising it to 250.
Is the
Well,
color the same as the
wasn't-
color of your roof?
Color of the metal is?
Yes.
Hi.
Tony?
So where did these square foot come from? I mean, why 150 versus 200?
I think
If the
originally came from
International Building Code
CCOG.
says 200, I'd say let's change our ordinance.
Yeah,
Let's
and that's for
continue.
future discussion, like I said, it has nothing to do with this condition use. I just put it in there as food for thought that we can talk at a future. We can't change any of our regulations during this meeting. But that just might be something we want to look at in the future, that the building code kind of allows anything under 200 square feet, and we have 150. So that, like I said, that's a future discussion, just like variance versus conditional use, future discussion. But this is strictly just on this conditional use.
Tony, you got anything you want to add or get caught up on?
Well, all I'm gonna add is, what's 50 square feet amongst friends? I mean,
Yeah, or what's 10
10
It's
square
just-
feet.
It's only 10 square feet.
It's only 10 square feet.
okay, even more so, what's 10 square feet amongst friends? And
It's the size of a bathtub.
The-
It's less than the size of a bathtub.
the amount of sheds and shed placements and everything else around town that I see in the course of a day, a week, and a month, I don't see any reason not to give a conditional use for this to put steel on that roof.
Yeah, I guess the only condition would be is that the color would be similar to the
Yep,
Call
Phil
it
is
a
saying, there's no neighbors in here to complain.
Yeah, that to me would
Well,
be,
let's
you know,
see.
so it's not like, yeah.
Yeah, half of them are right here.
Right there, all the neighbors are.
We're all here, guys. We're all on this, around this side. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
like
have a
it-
problem with metal roofs at all. I have a problem with our ordinance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only condition for me, it would just be if, just so it's not, you know, yellow or, you know,
No.
and I'm sure you guys don't want
Right,
that
yeah.
either, right?
No, gosh, no.
It's not Trojan blue.
No, it's not, it's
Yeah, yeah.
gray.
I mean, not that I'm not a fan, but
You'd be surprised what we run across.
Oh, or drive by.
So yeah, I, that would be the only thing for me. I got no problem with it. Especially if the IBC code is 200 and it's 10 square feet.
Yeah.
Point taken, though.
Well, I think we need to discuss
Where
this
did-
ordinance eventually.
well, probably not
You know,
today.
where did 150 square
Yeah, I like
feet come from? Because somebody,
Yeah.
well, I spent enough time at this table to know that somebody someplace said, well, that's like a 10 by 15 building, right?
So let's set
So
it
then,
there.
so 10 by 15 building, let's put it 150 in whatever town it was, and then every time somebody asked CCOG about it, they pulled up
150,
That
yep.
150
That's exactly right. It
from
came
that
from
town.
Seacock, they look at other towns,
and it just got
it
copied
just
along to
sticks.
everybody else.
It can be changed.
But see, 15 is a goofy number, 16 is
Yeah, 10 by 13.
a multiple of 8.
Yeah, I know.
8 feet sheet rock, 8 feet plywood.
Yeah,
15 is
that,
goofy.
yeah, that does make sense.
15 is goofy.
But that's exactly where it came from, was Seacock that just copied from other towns, so it can be changed, but like I said, that'd be a
That's all
future
I got,
agenda
right?
item.
That's all you got?
That's all I got.
Yeah, that's the only thing that I have, and I'm sure they're not.
So I would make a motion, is it time,
Yep.
to
Okay.
approve this conditional use permit, providing that the color matches the shingles of your current home.
Second.
I got a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion?
Well, we need to discuss this ordinance.
Oh,
You can do that tonight. That's the
You can
difference.
do that. You can do it on a future agenda. Future
Yeah, you're right.
agenda.
It is not on the agenda. so
Okay,
it's not
future
gonna be
agenda.
discussed
Not
tonight.
that-
No, but we need to put it on the agenda.
And we can.
Yeah.
Put it on a future one.
All right, so no further discussion on the CUP. So we'll go ahead and vote. Graham,
Yes.
Stacy,
Yes.
Espinoza,
Yes.
Wheelie,
Yes.
Randall,
Yes.
and Miles is yes.
Okay. Pretty painless.
Go away.
There's more of a.
More of a
Driving
process.
Down here, we got behind somebody. Have a good evening, everybody.
You too.
Thank Gary.
Probably a golf cart.
No, it was a truck with a tiller in the back.
Says either golf cart or scooter.
Scooters.
Darn golf carts with these kids. Gee.
Old business.
Those darn kids.
Review current building permit fee
Oh, boy.
slash
Here comes this
charges.
old dead horse again.
You should have been around.
Only one meeting? I think we've had it a couple
You
meetings.
should have been around for pools.
Yeah.
Yeah, you took your vote for that.
Well,
This
that's
at least
included
has
here,
some,
isn't it?
this at least has some
Context.
contact. The pool thing was a disaster. All right. So I think the last time we were here, we asked for, what was it, commercial?
Yep, ask for some additional information, basically some comparison of commercial properties. We kind of wanted a comparison on dollar amount. It was kind of hard to do, as Kyle was looking at, because so many cities do it by the type of structure it was going up versus dollar. So he put in there 3 comparisons of similar structures, like a commercial property. So you use like the Dairy Queen we have kind of right here, and then compared it with other cities. And then he used an industrial, black tie, and then a large project like our wastewater plant. So those are all in your packet. Want me to make you a copy, Tony?
No, I'm good.
And your
I'm sharing.
last minute, oh, okay, you're sharing,
Ms.
perfect.
Ms. Espinoza here is sharing, plus I read it all through it the other day. so.
Okay, I just want to get it for you if you needed it. So that was added in there, and
I don't. I'm brain dead.
Some of these numbers are way over the map, aren't they?
Yeah.
From city to city.
It is, I said, it really depends on the project with the commercial.
Well, I wonder if, you know, you see the big
Or-
changes in the water hookup fees, and
That's where it kind
and
of all
that's why I
falls in,
wonder
is the
if
size.
that's
of
coming
the-
from having to, Harrisburg having to hook onto Sioux Falls, and then they,
And then Sioux Falls is charged, yeah, that,
but how does that affect us? Because if we're, I think we should be charging more. We're not gonna drive people away by charging more to hook up and to help pay for the, wastewater treatment plant.
yeah, and that, and like I said, that is, I think, one thing I kind of noticed the first go around, and one thing that I think me and Kyle talked about, we could look at our hookup fees, you know, right now, we're at $7.50 for water, $7.50 sewer. I think we can easily bump them up to $1,000, that's kind of in line with other cities.
Here's my problem with that theory, Stacy, is you can bump the hookup fees up as high as you want to. It won't go to pay off the wastewater treatment plant, because it'll just go in the water and sewer budget. And the payments are already all set up
Yeah. But you
on
know,
the wastewater treatment plant.
if there comes a big surplus in the sewer fund, the city council can make a motion to,
Then they can also
Put
make,
money for-
they can also make a motion to spend it on something
and
else
they
and not put
can,
it
yeah,
towards.
exactly, yeah, there's no guarantee, I mean, but that's all a council
It could be
decision,
either
is,
or.
yeah.
The Harrisburg and Brandon are required to do that, I'm guessing,
Required to do what?
to have that hookup fee where it's at. I'm guessing that was part of guaranteeing there's a loan on the plants or
That's part
The
of Sioux
hookup.
Falls' requirement to come
or
through their plan.
Sioux Falls makes them charge
Sioux
that much
Falls
to
makes
hook
them
up.
charge that, yep,
Well, and
I've talked with them.
not, it's germane to this, but not 100%. And that your discussion about having conversations of getting new water sources for Hartford, and that was a little bit later in the packet.
With mainstream.
We'd like to
Yeah,
put,
with the-
yeah,
right,
yeah.
yeah. So is there any way to earmark those funds to either go to the wastewater treatment plant or back to that?
We're a municipality, we can't earmark funds.
No, it has to go in the general fund and then it has to
And
be
it's got a
budgeted.
general fund, and current councils can't buy any future councils, there's nothing to set it. So, kind of trust in your leadership of your councils, but there's nothing that you can't earmark it.
See, even, and correct me if I'm wrong, Teresa, even the surcharges on the water bills now just go into the sewer fund, and then the payment is made out of the sewer fund, but the state required that as, in effect, collateral
Yes,
to make the,
exactly right, yep, yep. Part of getting the loan was that we had to collect those surcharges, but those go into the sewer fund, and then the payments come out of the sewer fund, so.
so even those are not quote earmarked, it just goes in and then.
Right, it's just was required in the loan that we need to collect that much in surcharges, and then we'll have to make our loan payments. That kind of, like you said, kind of guarantees that we'll make our loan payments, and that we'll have funds to do it. But, yeah. Also in the packet, we put, Kyle did kind of do some estimate of administrative time. Like we talked before, it kind of really depends on the project. Obviously, larger projects take more time for plan reviews, several inspections or whatnot, but he did kind of put together just kind of an estimate of administrative time that projects take. Currently, we do not charge any kind of administrative fee. It's all part of the building permit fee. You know, if we gotta do 2 inspections or 10 inspections, it's just all part of that building permit fee and review of the plans and everything else associated with it. We don't charge an administrative fee like a couple of the cities do. So we can put that in there for you. I did note, I did talk with Amy with the HADF and asked if she could ask around to developers about our building permit fees. And kind of what I expected, she didn't have any hard numbers, but she said, well, some say they're a little too high, but the rest say they're okay. So I think you're always gonna have somebody say they're too high on any fees. I mean,
Upon further review of surrounding communities, I don't think anybody can say we're too high.
no, like I say, I think those are just the typical, they're always gonna say everything's high because they don't wanna pay. I mean, you know, but I think comparing it with other cities, I I think we're really kind of in the ballpark, you know. There's a lot of variables with building permits, and like you can see, every city does it a little bit differently. I don't think we're out of whack as far as, like I said, overcharging. We're not the lowest either, but I think we're kind of mid-range, which I was happy to see, because we hadn't reviewed this in a while, and you just want to make sure you're staying in there, because number one, you don't want to scare off developers by being too high, but number two, you want to be able to cover,
Yeah.
expenses and,
You don't wanna get
use
too far
those
behind
funds
and
for
you got an
development.
Increase that
Right.
scares everybody off.
Right, exactly.
Keep at least current.
Well, the two fastest growing communities around here are the two highest.
Yeah.
Pretty much when you look at the building permit costs across the board,
Yep.
T and Harrisburg are the highest. And Brandon gets right up there.
Yeah, if you look at the commercial, we're considerably lower than T, Brandon, Harrisburg, Crooks.
Yeah, you-
But T and Brandon they have a note here about a one-time charge for connection to a regional wastewater system.
Yeah.
yeah, and that's hooking onto that Sioux Falls system that's required.
So if you take that charge out, then we
And it
would
kind
be-
of puts it in the ballpark.
we would be
They're still a little
closer,
higher, but,
yes.
yeah.
However, Crooks is way higher. They're triple what we are for commercial.
Have you noticed how many new commercial buildings have gone in Crooks lately?
Yeah.
Gas station.
Where is their cutoff? Because that's northwest.
New school.
Yeah, but that'd get built no matter what the building permits are, and they probably got it way.
I know.
Higher than Lennox.
You know, my total look at it all the way across the board, it looks to me like we're pretty much mid-range no matter what category you're into. Mid-range is a good place to be, but I think it's a good exercise for us once a year to have staff provide us with the comparison, update the comparisons, make the calls, find out what changed with anybody, and just once a year have on the agenda that, hey, here's the update on comparisons on building permits.
Yeah, 'cause that's the whole thing, we just don't want to get too out of whack one way or
And
the
then
other, we
if-
want to stay that.
If all of a sudden we see that everybody is going up and we haven't gone up, then it's time, but I think it's a good yearly practice to just
Yep,
make a
do that.
review, look at comparisons and say, hey, are we still in the middle? Cool, we're in the middle, we're good.
Well, for reference, so I did do this for Lennox last year, and I wanna say T was the only one I updated. I mean, I verified all the data I had was up to date. T's was the only one, well, Brandon's, I guess. So T's and Brandon's did an update, but everyone's pretty much the same from last year.
Like I said, it's a good thing to look at it every year, we can.
Yeah, I think it's just, it's a
do it at the
review,
beginning of the
it's
year and,
it's an agenda
Make sure we're
review
still on track.
item. And maybe put it in your notes there to
yep,
plan in February and March when,
Before we get
before
on
the building
permit?
season, yeah.
yep, before the building season.
That's probably a good February review time.
Yep.
Well, I'm thinking
Disagree
just
with
for
that.
staff, that's
Yeah.
kind of a quiet time for inspections and that kind of stuff. It gives a chance for them to be able to
Yeah,
get the numbers put together and bring it into us, and then we can make decisions before the permits start.
yeah, like that second, would you say like the second or first meeting, last meeting in February, first meeting in
Yeah.
March type deal?
Yep.
Yep.
Have it ready?
Yep, I think that's a good plan going
Because I
forward.
don't know when cities set budgets, you know, when they
August.
review
We said
this,
August.
right, to update for the,
The budgets are all gonna be August,
yeah.
because by state statute, they have to be done by 1st of September, Teresa?
We have to have
First of September?
it county by October 1st, where we have to have 2 readings of an ordinance. So
Right.
That's
Yeah,
gotta
that's why you
be,
gotta do it.
that's why you gotta have it in August, so you have 2 readings in September and get the budget to the county by August 1st, or October 1st, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. But
So, yeah, that makes the most sense to me.
I think that's a
Everything looked in the middle.
good plan. Yeah, I can't disagree, I don't know if we, I'm too, where I don't think we're bringing it back in anything, so where it's comfortable, we'll just continue as is, and just, like I said, do a yearly review then going forward.
All right, we'll go into new business then. Review / approve county plat for track 9 of the Lufco edition.
So this is a county plat, partially. It's a little goofy of a plat. It's the first plat we've got come through. Basically, the Lufco property is along Western Avenue. It's Warren Luke's property on the west side of there. He is wanting to replat all his pasture land into one parcel. Right now, it's kind of divided up in a couple different parcels. He thinks for the ease of just renting it or whatnot, it's one property, one parcel, whatnot. Half of the parcel, the northern half, is in the county, and part of the parcel is in the city. Since part of it is in the county, we are going to cover our bases and go through approving this as a county plat, making them go through them as well. So that's why it's before you, just like every other county plat, you know, they submit it, we review it. The engineers have reviewed it, it does meet our regulations. He has signed a pre-annexation agreement as required by our regulations. Do have that signed agreement with me.
How does it work to have a parcel, so where he's replatting, then he'll have a parcel that's partially in the city and partially in the county? How does that work?
I mean, you can, it's just the parcel. I mean, the county is the one who's gonna have, to figure out the assessment for the taxes as far as part of it.
For the whole
city.
parcel, or?
Huh?
They'll figure out the taxes for the whole parcel?
They'll break it down by percentages, basically, when they assess
I
it.
mean, I'm sure somebody's gonna look at me goofy when I say this, but why doesn't he just de-annex that, those couple little chunks and put them back
He
in the
did
county?
ask about that, and I actually had to call our city attorney on it. If he de-annexes the city's portion, it only leaves them a connection of 200 feet. The lawyer doesn't think that's a good enough connection for touching the city. It would be kind of like a full annexation. So-
Okay, well, why doesn't he just de-annex the whole, everything that he put in, because he's not building an event center out there, and that's the only reason he did it to start with?
Well, he has submitted another plat that is in the city, so right where the event center was gonna go, he's parceling that off, and I think he wants to sell it for either residential or commercial. He's advertising that, so. I mean, he could have de-annexed all that, but he
I'd
hasn't
love-
asked for that.
I'd love to see that whole chunk de-annexed out. In fact, I'd love to see everything on that side of the road to Mickelson de-annexed. Because then the county gets to pay for that road and street.
True, yeah. But
You
I'm
county
not arguing
people-
there.
Anybody from the county watching?
This is what his land is?
No, this,
Oh,
well, this is his land that's in,
So all this yellow portion that's in the
all
city.
this yellow portion down to
Yeah.
here.
Oh,
Kind of
okay.
going out there and going down to
What's
Mickelson.
this
That's all
black
his.
That's gonna be the new parcel now.
oh,
So these yellow chunks here are in the city,
oh, okay.
and the tan parts are
Gotcha.
in the county.
Okay.
Yep.
Didn't you say something was on Western?
West.
It's west of Western.
Oh, west of Western,
Yes.
okay. Now I got you.
Got it.
I was lost.
But he owns it up to Western.
Yes. He starts right at Western's here, his parcel goes all the way west and then down to Mickelson, just like Tony said. That's all.
I mean, if the county's kosher with the fact that he can make one parcel that's
Yeah,
too,
Different.
yeah.
I
Yeah, I was just wondering how it's gonna affect.
It's,
our
you're gonna
revenue
have to
in
go
the
through
city.
the county, and they're gonna have to prove it too, so.
basically, I believe what you've got going on there is the lines down through there. I think that's where Skunk Creek meanders down through that
It is.
pasture.
All his pasture land is going around the creek, which kind of, like you said, meanders kind of through here.
Right.
Yep, it's following that.
So that's his reason for wanting to do that, then he can rent
Because
it.
he knows it's only gonna be pasture.
And then that pasture goes out and it's in a floodplain I mean, all of these things are a reason that he's not gonna build something on that,
Yep, exactly. He knows it's gonna continue to just be pasture land and, yep, exactly.
or parkland or whatever.
Yep.
Right.
I mean, at some point in time, if somebody gets building into there and decides that they want to do something with it, then he can reparcel it and cut it off square again or whatever, because where it is right now, that's where the old railroad bed is. So where the dotted line is between the county and the city, that's the old railroad bed. And then Skunk Creek, or when the creek is, Turtle Creek is right down below that. And I think that pretty much matches up the meandering that goes on with the creek there.
Yep.
You don't see it affecting our revenues for the city by doing
We'll
this?
still get our portion, our percentage of the portion that's in the city.
We'll still get
The
our,
county assessor's gotta be able to divide that out.
we'll still get our $18 worth of ag ground tax.
Right, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, the county's gonna, I'm sure the assessor just approaches it, you know, such and such percentage is county and
Yeah.
then tax it at that, and the other percentage is, you know, city and tax it at that.
Well, he's met all the requirements that we would have.
Yeah, I was gonna say, he meets our
I don't see any
requirements,
reason
so,
why not to approve
Exactly.
it personally, but.
yes.
No, if I'm with you on that, Brad, it's,
So again, what is this pre-annexation agreement that he has signed?
So per our subdivision regulations,
Right.
if there is property in our growth area, not in the city, but in our growth area, so it's,
Here.
that's in our comp plan. Basically, it states that if you want to plat or replat any property in our growth area, you've got to sign a pre-annexation agreement. And really, the agreement just basically says that, as owner of the property, that once the city goes out and touches that parcel, because this might be, you know, half a mile out, you know, some of the parcels are. Once we touch it, if we decide we're going to ask you to annex, you won't fight it, you'll voluntarily annex. We've never forced anybody to annex. I mean,
Sure.
it's basically, it's kind of a security measure, so
You can't
so the
have-
city doesn't get all around one parcel, you know, and then they're a little island all by themselves in the middle of town. You know, it's kind of just a precaution thing. Doesn't mean that when we touch it, because like this property, we're touching it.
I was gonna say,
We're
you're
not
already
gonna
touching it.
ask them to annex.
Yeah.
I mean, look at our city limit, look at right next to you. I mean, there's county parcels right along Colton Road. We haven't asked them to annex, so it's, yeah. I mean, it's, but if at some point the city deems that, you know, this parcel should be, and they won't fight it, you know, so we don't get those donut holes in the city.
Continuous growth. It's just, it gives for continuous growth,
Right, it just,
without
yeah,
having any little holes.
yep.
All right, I'm gonna look for a motion to approve County Plat, Track 9 of the Lufco edition.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
I've got a motion and a second to approve the county plan for Track 9 Lufco edition. Any other discussion on it? We'll go to vote. Tim?
Yes.
Stacy?
Yes.
Keely?
Yes.
Joe? Yes. Tony?
Yes.
I'm yes. All right. So we've done that.
I do have a little update from Paul.
Perfect.
I don't think you were here, Tony, but Paul is going to start coming to the next meetings. He's had a few family obligations these last couple of months, but he'll be at the next ones in May. He says there are 8 currently open, single-family home permits, 2 twin home permits that are open. Commercial work updates, the quick start, obviously you can tell site excavation work is going on. Footings are tentatively scheduled for April, he noted.
April 20th, actually.
Oh, you got an actual date, he just said April, so,
We just found that today.
okay, perfect. And 1205 North Oaks Avenue, it's a new commercial building going out, you know, in the HADF addition. They're finishing up some final inspection items and should be able to close that out soon. And the city's park bathroom by the pickleball courts was finalized out and approved, and we got it open today, so there you go. Yeah, Laura.
My daughter was very excited. That's where up.
1205 North Oaks, that's the one at the corner of Oaks and 12th Street.
Yes,
The white building?
yes.
So
More
that-
right south of Proframing, yeah.
They're not final, Jeff?
I think they got a few, they've got their occupancy, but I think they had a few minor things that didn't interfere with occupancy that needed to clean up, so, yeah. He did issue an occupancy permit a month ago or so. It's been a little while, yeah. Yeah, that's what he's got.
Okay. Teresa, you got anything to add to your report?
Let's see what I put in my report. Gave you a little update, you know, we had a little discussion about election signs, so I did check into that a little bit with our attorney, as far as how long they can be there, what, you know, we discussed what our regulations were. We did check with the state. They do have time limits on it, but the state has minimum time limits. Basically, they put that out there that cities can't reduce it any further when the state says they're not maximum time limits, they're minimum, so just FYI for you on that. We're still looking for a wastewater treatment
There's
operator.
maximum,
Continue our-
there's not minimum.
There's a minimum
Yeah, so
time.
You have to let.
we have to let somebody
You have
put
to let
a...
them stay there for, let's just say 14 days,
Yes,
But they can stay there as long as they want?
well,
up to the city's
up to the
regulation.
cities then,
Oh.
because we,
Yeah.
up to the cities regulations, yeah.
And do you have a regulation?
We do have for temporary signs, they're not
Oh, okay.
specific to
Okay.
election signs, but temporary signs would,
Yeah, I
these
think-
would consider, just in general, we do have
In Kyle's
180 days.
report, you sent, after you found all that out, then you sent a letter about the sign in question.
Okay, he,
Just let them know the ordinance.
yep,
Okay,
so they are aware of it now, so.
okay. I have total brain.
You said you were still looking for wastewater?
We are still looking for a wastewater treatment operator.
You wanna put it
Continue
out?
that search, so. Anybody? I didn't put in here, but, we are doing interviewing, well, I put in it for the summer positions. I think we've got, pretty much, enough applicants to cover our public works assistants and for the pool. We do not have a director for our Park and Recs program, so unless somebody applies for that, we'll have to have a discussion of what we're gonna do with that. Luckily, that's not until July, so we have a little time here to get somebody, but Laura Johnson is not gonna come back as a director, and I don't have any other applicants at this point.
She's been saying that for years.
I
so-
know, and then she
Yes.
finally pulled the trigger and did it.
Good for her, good
What's
for
I
her.
know.
What's the timeline on that? Like, since
Well-
July to what?
So basically, we run the program just for the month of July
Oh,
in the
okay.
morning. So it starts the first week in July and runs just to the last week in July, just in the mornings, Monday through Friday. So the program is just a month-long program. We probably would need to have a director like a month prior because there are supplies to order or whatnot, and know if we're going to have the program or whatnot. So I hope by June, if we don't have anything by June, the council will have to be having a discussion of what, if we could do anything and go from there.
I could, think I got something.
Well, if you know somebody,
My
yeah, apply
My
for.
wife, probably. She's a teacher.
And I'm
so-
sure Laura would give her lots of advice.
Oh, I bet she would.
Laura's been doing it for years.
You know, basically, it's so, you know.
They get assistants, they get like.
Yeah, we have
high school
assistants
kids
to help them with, but mainly with the director, it's planning the activities, just having the activities planned out, whether it's a craft activity
Sure.
or whatnot. So it's just
Teacher.
having
It
that.
is a good teacher's job.
Yeah, I mean, so it is very good for teachers, so.
Okay, I'll.
Hey, go
Laura's
plug
done
in her
it
ear.
for
Yeah.
years.
And it's just in the mornings,
Okay.
and it's just Monday through Friday, so we'll take her weekends or nights, so.
Announce those, that's for
Hope you didn't just throw her under the bus
sure. Yeah, I
there.
know. She said she's gonna watch one of these
At
at
home
one
watching
time.
right now, this is.
I hope this wasn't the night.
I'm just gonna point out too, we did submit a grant, the deadline was the 10th, so we got it in, the Game Fish and Parks for a bike trail going from 12th Street up to the sports complex. So, we should hear by June usually, June, July timeframe, if we get that awarded or not. So we'll see from there. The rest was kind of updates for you.
Cross streets up by ATS, just north of ATS.
New street that went in north of the building center.
Yeah, running east and west.
Yeah. So hopefully.
That'd be nice.
Yes, I'll go.
Kids don't have to go up Western to get to Swenson Park, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, woohoo.
Yes, we really tried to push the safety aspect of it. You don't want kids driving on Western.
Especially not on their scooters.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Woohoo.
Found the other South Dakota 250, so. And then just kind of gave you an update, on revitalization. They're still working on a study that they need to do before we can continue talks on that. And then an update on Dakota Mainston had their annual meeting, so I don't know if you have any questions regarding that, but that's moving forward as well. Dakota Mainston, they've got their, basically their assessment study done, and now they're working on the feasibility study, which is gonna probably take a couple of years, and then they gotta pursue financing, and like originally told you, I mean, this is a Lewis and Clarke, this is a 20, 30-year project before you're actually gonna see infrastructure in, but, groundwater is getting scarce and scarce, and the only way to really secure water for eastern South Dakota is from the river, so this, it is moving forward. Hopefully we'll have it before we run out.
Okay.
Any questions?
All righty. Look for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
A motion, and a second to adjourn, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Boom.
So my mother
Yes.
fell on Easter
Oh,
night.
yeah, I've been watching